Hi, welcome. On this video, I want to take a few minutes to respond. And this really is really almost a gift, okay? Given by way of Kevin Murdaugh. Really, what you can see here, really showing, okay? Really kind of showcasing the problems, okay? In a way, again, I talk about, what's revealed. Okay, lining up the one of the themes of intent. Okay, dog understanding intent, which you're going to see here. Okay, and again with those core ingredients I talk about, influence and control being reconciled, which you're going to see here. Okay, in such a way that's going to reveal the truth in terms of the perceptions of Grey Goose towards her owner, Kevin Murdaugh. And it's very clear. So Mark DeBose, okay, he put out a challenge to see certain things. And and this is again Murdaugh, kind of a trap here in a way, fell into it. But here's the thing. All the videos I've been putting out for a while here. I mean, I go back, and since Murdaugh really started launching into this, trying to call people out, this whole thing about, trying to put himself up above people through his approach. And I talk about this. I mean, there's a way to, okay, I talk about a process. There's a way to know. Okay, I talk about, in terms of, balance training, force free training, this type of a, kind of, quasi Caesar Milan approach, drive based, all of it, play based, all of it. There's a way to know. Okay, you don't have to guess. Okay, I'm very specific as to what defines a process. I talk about what's revealed or not revealed. This whole thing about the off leash stuff, we'll talk about that too, because you're going to see all of it. Okay, more clearly than anyone ever has before, especially in this video. You're going to see it. And so I talk about, how, how the relationship, the current state relationship is revealed by lining up certain things a certain way, to reveal it. But again, in Murdaugh's own words too, okay, you're going to hear him trying to package this up, trying to make this right. Okay, the whole blame shifting, the genetics part of it. You're going to hear all that too. We're going to go through all of it. So, because again, I talk about why it is that dogs, dog owners, continue to struggle in the relationship with their dogs. But you have trainers out there like Murdaugh that are playing this shell game, okay? And you can play that shell game. Understand, when you get into this thing about appearances, it can be very deceptive at a certain level. These trainers are within the framework of responses. This off leash thing, like I keep talking about the problems with that, how that can. But you'll see this whole kind of, him trying to kind of keep shuffling the deck, keeps trying to play this shell game to try to, very much, doing it intentionally, I believe, on purpose, selling this lie. And I talk about what's the big lie in the dog training world, that trainers are trying to package this, ideology up to sell it to the public. They're playing this shell game with people, and you don't take my word for anything. Okay, look at the state of the dog training world. It's a mess. Okay, it's a train wreck, and dog owners continue to struggle. So, but again, this lines up. You go back to all my videos, I'm consistent. I show it. I talk about everything that you hear me talking on the videos involving Murdaugh, but he's just putting himself out there, right? That's fine. He wants to go on the attack. That's fine, but I'm going to respond by way of information. Okay, it isn't about cheap. Like, he engaged all these cheap shots. If you watch that back and forth, that's what he does. Okay, that's what all these trainers will do. All right, they want to get personal. It isn't about getting personal. It's about, okay, here's a way to know. Here's the information I'm putting out. You can put it to the test. It doesn't matter the dog. Doesn't matter the trainer. Okay, you can line the stuff up and you can know. Okay, in terms of what's revealed at the beginning and even at the end of a process, in terms of lining this up properly so that you know what the outcome is. You can know whether where you're at in terms of the relationship. That's the good news about all of it. So here, okay, the title of this video is Loud Sounds Near My Apartment. What happens with Grey Goose? Well, we're going to see what happens with Grey Goose. And this is the whole thing about, so here he's got the leash on Grey Goose. Okay, you're going to see him start to bring this dog under a level of intentional control, the way I talk about. Okay, the dog understanding intent based on directionally. Okay, understand that. So when you understand that when you assert control in a way, the dog understands intent. Okay, in terms of, hey, Kevin Murdaugh wants me to move forward. Okay, and it's a reasonable demand. Okay, I understand that. What is the dog's level of agreeableness or disagreeableness to that demand? Okay, influence and control. It's like parental influence, a demand. Hey, clean up your room because, I'm the parent. Okay, it's implied through the roles, right? Not for $100, not because and again, you'll see this here too. He brings in certain themes in. I talk about bribery, accommodation, negotiation. Like, please do it. This how that ties into the relationship as a motivator. Okay, I understand this is all about through association, through how the current state of relationship. So this is about drilling this down so that taking it to the form of the demand, okay, the way that it needs to align in terms of a power play and in terms of recognizing your role. How does the dog see you in that role? You understand this is the thing about context here, which we're going to see. So let's play some of this. So here he's got Grey Goose on the leash finally, the right way. Okay, I'm gonna show this. So the shell game, all the shells get lifted up here. Okay, the shells get lifted up, and you're gonna see it. So let's play some of this with Grey Goose here.
We're gonna wait a minute. Yeah, we're gonna wait a minute. Yeah, I know. You hear the banging? You hear the
So he's talking about banging. There's banging sounds like someone's working on a roof. And the interesting thing, if you watch, okay, so when I talk about going through, the issue about reactivity, okay, loud sounds, okay, like someone, pounding on something, right? I talk about how that will, for a dog that's already gained a level of control in the relationship, this thinking, okay, it's going to trigger the dog, okay? That reactivity starts to happen, right? You're going to have problems, okay? You're going to have that dog is going to go into that level of the focus shifts, right? But it shows the nature of the relationship. Okay, so when I talk about focus, okay, coming through right relationship, right, establishing that through right those core ingredients, right. I talk about bringing into a power play level to bring the dog through that, okay, through the actual power play itself, through the right conversation. So it's stabilizing the mind, okay? The mind itself, the focus changing the right way onto the owner. When the stress comes off the dog, you watch them. In fact, the interesting thing is I have videos on my YouTube channel of me. The roofers are up on the roof, and just the nails are just going hammer. And what am I doing? You watch this so different. I'm moving the dog through that the right way with those core ingredients, okay, to intercept the dog's stinking thinking. What you're gonna see here is totally opposite. Okay, this is really telling here with how Murdaugh responds to his show dog. Now, understand this is a dog that he's had since the beginning. That he's trying to elevate. All right, this dog up as his show dog. It's like this is a dog that showcases his method. All right, kind of like Karen Pryor. I did a video about Karen Pryor, right? With Gary Wilkes calling her out about her, and he did a whole article on that. Go read it, right, where he calls out her dog, like she's pumping her own dog up to a level that says no. He knew the reality of it, like he knew the reality, saying this dog could not perform what she was pumping herself up in this dog, right? But people still followed her. I understand, even after calling it all out, right? But I even went further with that to say Gary Wilkes, in terms of even balanced training, using that. Okay, go watch that video. Get into all that stuff. So let's play. Let's keep playing some of
banging? Yeah, come on. Hear the bang? This way.
So right here, okay, it begins. Right. So he's talking to, right, trying to lead this stuff verbally, right. But I talk about this whole thing about even verbal commands. Why? Through the process, through the right language, through those core ingredients, intent is one of the big themes that Murdaugh doesn't understand any of this. Okay, he doesn't want to anyway. But okay, when I line up even verbal commands, you watch my board and train videos. I don't even speak verbally to a dog until day 12 of a 14-day process. Okay, but the core ingredients are what coming into proper alignment and through the power play of what I'm doing. Okay, through the interactions. Okay, the possessive dog changed the right way, and then I start to verbalize. Okay, he's verbalizing here, but consider what I said: the themes of negotiation, right? So the dog, Grey Goose already doesn't have a right view of him in terms of relationship. Okay, so control itself can become its own motivator through the relationship. Just think about like even a permissive child going to a certain parent because they get what they want, the ice cream. This is what's going on here with this situation. Just understand that, and you'll see it. He's trying to align through that. He's trying to motivate Grey Goose through that. It's not through because the control thing, the thing about intent lining up, which it does, and control and influence in terms of Grey Goose coming to agreement of it. Grey Goose does not. Okay, you'll see it.
Yeah, this way. Good girl. Come on.
See, like right here, you can see he's begging her. Like he doesn't want to, right? He doesn't want to bring it into that level, but he's going to bring in that level here
What's up,
because
Bunny?
Grey Goose isn't going to give Murdaugh a choice here in a moment.
They're doing some roofing right near my apartment.
So when the dog has already gained a level of control in the relationship, when the relationship isn't right to begin with, the dog's perceptions are misaligned. Those noises and all that, it makes things much worse. Okay, it's like a selfish child that doesn't have good focus. Okay, so it draws the dog's attention. Those sounds really will start
So
triggering.
they're banging.
It makes things worse.
What's up, Loca? Yeah, sorry about the stream yesterday, guys. I don't know what, the last 2 days it's just cut. It's just like randomly
See right here, he's just trying like you pay attention there as he starts to go here.
cut out. I don't know why. And I couldn't.
Because right here, he doesn't want to see. It's the whole thing. So you can watch his leash method. With these dogs, he got the movement going. And that's why I talk about even movement being a problem. Okay, when you move, right, when you start to move with dogs, right, the mind will start jumping, right. So you're still tying into the dog being motivated the wrong way. When the dog's mind starts jumping and there's different associations great in terms of control. Okay, I mentioned this on another video. But when you start to stop and certainly you make the expectation change, okay, in terms of just being patient, still a reasonable demand, you'll start to see many dogs start to flip out, right, because it's exposing, right, the relationship that
Couldn't
way.
get it to restart. The first day.
And then you just line up with all the other behavioral issues. Understand part of this whole dynamic here in terms of dogs, in terms of relationship, is that things can appear pretty good off leash, your dog moving around inside the home at a certain level without you touching the dog. But think about how a selfish child can look pretty good playing their video games, right? But ask yourself the question: when are the moments revealed? When's the truth revealed with a parent? When a parent puts a demand on that child, okay? When parental influence is online. So when a demand comes onto a dog with intent,
Yeah, I could get
understand
it to
that's
restart.
important.
The second day, I could not get it to restart.
Because he's pulling
right,
pulling Grey Goose.
Yeah, so they're banging away. Next door, we got hammers. I don't know if you can hear them. Well, let's see if I can show you. All right, Goose, come on.
Jeez.
Yeah, good girl.
He's hoping, like he's just like, I hope this dog don't lock up on me.
She is, but she also, I think she thinks she's that we're going to the car.
Because even how he's just like just nudging that, like, come on, like please.
She doesn't like going to the car.
So he starts mentioning some stuff here already. Like if you like, just pay attention. She doesn't like going to the car. Like, and the interesting thing is, he goes on here even with his debate with Mark DeBose, and I haven't. Well, I just watched part of the debate, and he admits to all sorts of issues here with Grey Goose.
What's up, Shane? No, I mean, Mark had said, what do you do? Why don't you walk past the construction zone? Well, we've got, and
I'm glad Mark DeBose lined this up this way because now you can see it even more clearly. I already knew before this anyway. It didn't even matter to me. But
by the way, I found some clips of other live streams of us walking past,
Grey
like
Goose
the
is
landscaping,
and
Goose is perfectly fine. Before she's had issues with the landscapers. Yeah, you see, they're up there doing some roofing. All right, come on, girl. Let's go.
You're begging her.
Yeah.
Like begging her. Please.
So you want to move this? Oh, down like that. All right, come on.
And that's what happens, that whole bribery thing, right? It's like, because then what happens is like that parent, right? It's like, I'm trying to tie this in so that, trying to negotiate my way through this. Bribery, accommodation, negotiation, right? Because the influence and control are starting to happen. Those loud noises are happening from it. And again, I mentioned about the video here. I'll put it up here shortly. Just trying to, here lately I've been away a couple of days here doing other things, but just finding the time here. But again, this is important because people need to know, not just with Murdaugh, but in general, when I'm talking about certain things, okay, in terms of, why it is, okay, in terms of what's revealed or not revealed, why it is that you want to do things a certain way. But again, interesting because he never did this until now, until he was pressured into it. He kind of fell into this trap, right? But I asked the question, why wasn't he willing to do this before all of this? Like, if here's the thing, if you're in right relationship with your dog, think about what I'm saying here. If you're in right relationship with your dog, bring your dog under this level of intentional leash control this way. Okay, even we talk about even this way here with control coming to the back of the dog's neck area. Okay, it's just in terms of influence control being, then that's going to reveal. But why didn't he do it till now? Because he knew this wasn't going to go well for him.
Yeah, this way.
See?
Yeah, she hears the banging, right?
Trying to
See,
make
she hears
excuses.
the banging, and she'll want to run back to the apartment.
She'll want to run back to the apartment. What type of mess is this? You know what I'm saying? Now he's admitting to all this stuff with his dog, right? But like I told people, if you paid attention before, and that's the problem here, is like, but I'm glad he did this. He's doing this because again, like I said, this is a reasonable demand. If you're in right relationship with your dog, and you bring leash control this way under the dog, this isn't anything abusive or you're not being mean to your dog. Your dog should come into a full agreement quickly, full agreement right in, because with the dog understanding intent. If you watch my videos, that's what I'm doing the whole time. But it lines up. See, I show everything. He clips and edits stuff. He didn't want to show this till now, and he showed this because DeBose put him into this type of trap situation here. Look at it.
Right, she just doesn't like loud sounds, which to me is not not a problem.
He's not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem. It's just like he said, all these controversies that I talked about. I just put a video about that. All the controversies that went on Miracle Canine and talk about, right? Oh, not a big deal. Like they don't mean anything. Just move along. Nothing to see here. Well, there's everything to see here. Okay, if you're paying attention to what I'm saying.
Problem,
No problem. No problem.
I don't consider that a behavioral issue.
He doesn't always talk.
It's not a matter of her survival for us to go near where the loud sounds are.
So here's a guy, okay, and this happens a lot. I said this whole thing about virtue signaling, these trainers who, through their hypocrisy, right? They're going out helping, like pretending to help other people deal with the same issues, but they have their own dog that they can't overcome these issues with. Here's an example of it right here. You're seeing it.
Exactly, Bunny, right. She's like, see, I've talked about this before, where if you have a dog who knows...
I show how to move through this stuff, okay? You watch my video, I show how to do it the right way. And this is why he's got such a problem with the leash. Doesn't believe in it, right? Well, you should believe in it because it's the way to resolve this stuff.
Who can recognize danger.
This dog's not moving.
Right? Because they've spent time out in the wild. Then they're going to have a healthy attitude towards things that...
He's trying to say, I mean, he doesn't make that, trying to have, the dog's making all the choices, right? But the dog's already, this is the stinking thinking I talk about in my videos, right? The stinking thinking. It's like a selfish child that that self changes focus, right? Not in right relationship.
They would be...
This is fixable stuff here. Understand, like you're watching this is fixable, but not through his approach. Understand, because he does not understand what defines a process in terms of those core ingredients being able to change perception of dogs. He does not.
Deeming as a threat to their survival, right?
Okay.
And so, to me, that's a perfectly healthy attitude, rather than a dog who just, a dog who...
The Grey Goose knows where Murdaugh wants her to go. He's just saying, I ain't doing it. All right. Not, no. I'm glad he put this
Doesn't
video
have a
together.
healthy level of respect towards the world. You know, those are the dogs that'll run in the road and get hit by
Well,
cars, and they'll, you know, there's
you got to keep talking, right? He's got to fill. He's like a filler, right? He's got because you don't want to focus on this too much, right? He's got to just keep
they
talking.
don't understand they don't know what the danger looks like, right?
Someone here in the comment section, like, "Oh, poor baby, she doesn't like the loud noise." Because you get those people, like people coming in, just like saying, "Oh," one person says, "She
But
seems
now
reluctant, laughing out
you
loud."
can't force a dog through that. You can't just like drag your dog through these situations.
See, you can't force, but this is a reasonable demand. There's no force that way. Okay, it's about control, intentional control, influence, dog understanding, intent. This dog understands. So he's going, you can't drag a dog through. Well, you know, think about it. It's not about dragging a dog through. It's about, being able to move through it, okay, with the right conversation, with those core ingredients aligned properly, where the dog's going to come into agreement with. But because he doesn't want to do that, right? Because he has a certain attitude about all that, saying, well, he's caught in this trap. You can't move through it. I understand it because, and then if that's why, and think about it, that's why he has such a problem with watching my videos. But I show the whole process right through it all, but being able to overcome it, not locked in this type of situation, right? Because this is not good, right? Because then he'll use language like just like Zach George. So tell me, like, this is why the inflammatory language these trainers carry on, but this is not meant to be unreasonable with the dog whatsoever, right? But this takes them to think about what I'm saying. This takes him to the edge of where he's willing to go. It's not about being abusive here. Don't, but in terms of his ideology, he's locked in here. And then what's his escape mechanism? Genetics. It must be a genetic problem. Some dogs just are scared. He said that in the Miracle Canine. Go watch the video. Did he'll then he's trying to negotiate, right? That could be a motivator through control, right? Just like the permissive parent-child dynamic, right? Or the loose leash gives Grey Goose control back, not in a healthy way. And then Grey Goose gets moving again. And he's like trying to package it up. Oh, look, Grey Goose, that's what he's done the whole time. But this exposes it right here. Got to line it up. Exposed. Right here. There's no way around it. There's no excuse around it. There's nothing he can say. He can try, but there's no way around it. He's trying to make excuses.
Situations you can't do it. You see now they're banging away out there,
And they're way over here. Look, they're way over here.
right?
Right? When if you watch the video where I'm taking the dog to the hammer and nail, I'm right on top of the house. I mean, I'm not on top, but I'm right blowing right through it. Go watch the video. Blowing right through it in a good way, but affecting the dog's mind. Those core ingredients being aligned properly. This house is way over on the other side. Look, Grey Goose is all locked up.
Yeah, but I don't think that bothers her because she walks past that all the time. I don't think that sound bothers her at all.
What? Why is she locked up? But she's locked up for a couple like so. It's that the stress on Grey Goose, right? But this ties in because the leash is about relationship. It's about connection. Do you understand? So him asserting, bringing control of this dog in terms of Grey Goose understands intent. She understands the conversation here. She understands intent. She's refusing to do it because he's bringing in the form of a demand. It's a reasonable demand, but this exposes her issues. Just like a selfish child. Pick up your toys because I'm the parent. Not for $100, not because you're bribing the child, because it's a reasonable demand. And with parental influence as part of the interplay. And then for a selfish child, no, I'm not picking up my toys. What are you talking about? Where's my new Xbox game? Right? So right here, no, I'm not moving forward because I don't see you the right way. Because you aren't truly leader, right? The way that you need to be able to bring me through to the other side. So he's stalled out here in the relationship. So he can go on all day long. So take this is why I kept going on with this whole loose leash crazy. Loose leash, off leash. He's walking Grey Goose. Well, here is the proof right here. All you need to know that Grey Goose is a mess. Not in a bad way. It's fixable. Bring Grey Goose to me for, for a week. This wouldn't be happening. Grey Goose would be a better dog. I'm not even pumping. It's the truth because you have to have the person that's willing to move through it. Okay, it's not to hurt the dog. Okay, it's to have the right conversation. He's not willing to have that. And then he's trying to portray himself up here as no. It's a joke. So you can watch the entire thing yourself, but this is what you see. This is what you get. This is what it is. Thanks for watching.